Today we're going to consider some thoughts from Psalm 124. In this psalm, David writes about the fact that God had been with his people, Israel, and had delivered them from their enemies. And so he begins writing in verse 1, "Had it not been the Lord who was on our side, let Israel now say, had it not been the Lord who was on our side, when men rose up against us, then they would have swallowed us alive. When their anger was kindled against us, then the waters would have engulfed us. The stream would have swept over our soul. Then the raging waters would have swept over our soul." As he's writing this, he's bringing in language that reminds us of their deliverance from Egypt, where they passed through the Red Sea and they were delivered safely while the Egyptian army was destroyed. But that was not the only time God had been with his people. He had brought them into the promised land. He had driven out nations before them and let them dwell securely in the land. God had proven that he was with his people, was caring for his people, and would deliver them from evil. So David said that if it wasn't the Lord who was on our side, then they would not have been able to stand. They would not have been able to stand up against those enemies that were coming against them. Their hope was in the Lord. He was the one who was able to provide them with that deliverance. So he goes on in verse 6, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not given us to be torn by their teeth. Our soul has escaped as a bird out of the snare of the trapper. The snare is broken, and we have escaped. Our help is in the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth." Why was God the one that they could trust? Why was he the one who was able to deliver them, and not some other king that they might ally with and get protection from him? Why do they put their trust in the Lord? Because he is God. He is the one who made heaven and earth. He is the one who's more powerful than any ruler. The same thing is true for us today. If the Lord is not on our side, then we have no hope. But because he is on our side, because he is the one who made heaven and earth, we have hope in him. That no matter who is against us, no matter what challenges we face, whatever persecution might come against us in the future, we have hope because we are on the Lord's side. So we need to make sure that we are on his side so that he can deliver us, that he can help us. So let's follow him, follow his will, and look to him and not to anyone else for our strength. Because if we follow him and are on his side, he will deliver us.